There is a moment just before a spaceship leaves Earth when everything falls into perfect silence, not the silence of space, but the silence inside the human heart, the pause between who we were and who we are about to become. My name is Elias Ward, and on this day I stood alone inside the command module of the Astrolese, listening to machines breathe while I waited to leave the only world I had ever known. The ship was built for distance, not comfort, a single-pilot exploration craft designed to go farther than any human vehicle in history. Around me the walls glowed softly with navigation data, while the artificial intelligence called LYRA monitored every vital sign that pulsed through my body and into the neural interface at the base of my neck. Her voice was calm, almost too calm, carrying no emotion as she confirmed that all systems were stable and the mission trajectory locked toward the deep unknown beyond the far edge of our solar system. I sealed the hatch behind me, and the metallic hiss echoed like the closing chapter of my past life. Earth faded beyond the reinforced glass of the viewing port as the launch bay darkened. The countdown began, slow and merciless, and with each number my memories rushed forward unwillingly, the scent of rain on warm pavement, the uneven rhythm of my sister's laughter, the ocean glow against distant cliffs at sunrise. Gravity pressed harder as ignition thundered through the hull, the engines roaring like ancient beasts dragging us toward the sky. My body was crushed into the pilot cradle as the Astrolese lifted away from Earth's surface, rising on pillars of flame until blue skies surrendered to the endless dark above. The moment zero gravity took hold was the moment I realized how fragile the human body truly is. The weight vanished, replaced by a quiet floating sensation that made my stomach turn and my limbs feel unanchored. Earth curved beneath me, brilliant and impossibly alive, wrapped in swirling clouds like a fragile jewel in the void. I stared until it became no more than a glowing sphere shrinking against the blackness, until finally even that faded into silence. This was the first time in human history a lone pilot traveled beyond mapped space without a nearby return route charted, not a rescue ship standing by, not a tether to any orbital station. For the first time, the human race reached forward with a single hand instead of a fleet. Days passed into routine. Or perhaps routine replaced time itself. LYRA guided the ship through calculated bursts of acceleration, while I monitored data feeds that dripped in endlessly, radiation levels, microcomet tracking, gravitational curvature readings so subtle they had to be translated into visual graphs before my eyes could comprehend them. Meals were tasteless nutrient pouches, sleep came in restless shifts tethered to the cabin wall, and every waking moment was filled with the humming presence of machines. The quiet became heavier than the engines ever were. In the vast black void, you begin to hear your thoughts as if someone else is speaking them. Weeks later the first anomaly appeared. On the forward scanners a pulse flickered where no stellar body should exist. A beacon of energy repeating in intervals too precise to be natural. LYRA verified it instantly, confirming gravitational distortion surrounding the signal source. Whatever lay ahead was not simply a star or rogue planet drifting the darkness, it was something bending space itself. The Astrolese altered trajectory automatically, engines igniting with controlled surges as we moved closer toward the unknown. As distance shrank, a faint blue glow emerged like a ghost rising from emptiness. Slowly, endlessly slowly, the source revealed itself, a massive sphere hidden between warped folds of space, uncharted by all modern telescopes because gravitational lensing had masked its existence for centuries. An entire planet concealed from the universe, orbiting nothing, drifting silently in eternal isolation. No sun burned to warm it. No standard energy source could explain its atmospheric stability, my breath caught when atmospheric readings streamed through compensators. The data should have been impossible. Oxygen. Trace nitrogen. Surface pressure within tolerable human limits. This world held air. No human voice had ever spoken about standing on an alien planet with breathable skies. All our dreams had revolved around domes and colonies sealed from hostile worlds. Yet here, drifting between the stars, existed a planet that could cradle human lungs as gently as Earth once did mine. The landing sequence engaged. Clouds swallowed the astrolese during atmospheric breach, turbulence rocking the hull violently as unseen storm currents clawed at the craft. The engine strained while descent alarms barked warnings across the cockpit. Finally, the shaking eased, and through thinning mist I saw the terrain emerge beneath us, endless forests of towering black-barked structures shaped like ancient conifers. Clustered around winding rivers reflecting strange violet skies. Jagged mountain ridges pierced distant horizons like broken teeth. Touchdown came with a jolt that rattled every bone in my body. Silence followed. I sat motionless for a long minute, heart racing as LYRA confirmed structural integrity. Outside the glass a new world waited, alien and silent. I suited up slowly, every clasp clicking louder than it should have in the quiet cabin. The airlock hissed, cycling pressure while my breath fogged the visor. When the outer hatch finally opened, pale golden light washed over me. I stepped forward, my boots sank into soft dark soil speckled with glowing mineral flecks, tiny sparks of light embedded like fallen stars. I raised the atmospheric scanner, still half expecting alarms to shriek, but it stayed green. The oxygen was real. The first living creatures appeared less than 50 meters from the ship. They emerged slowly from beneath thick moss blankets, gelatinous shapes colored dull teal with 3 stubby tentacles serving as limbs. They moved by dragging themselves across the ground, absorbing nutrient film coating the rocks below. Harmless scavengers, by biological estimates. Their existence alone proved an active ecosystem. I began recording observational logs while cautiously moving farther from the landing site. The deeper into the forest I walked, the more alive the world revealed itself to be, towering fungal pillars releasing drifting bioluminescent spores, insect-like beings gliding silently between branches. Distant calls echoing with low tonal harmonies unseen in any Earth species. Then the forest fell abruptly silent, every instinct screamed danger before my brain could explain why. A tremor vibrated underfoot, heavy, rhythmic impacts traveling through soil like approaching thunder. I turned just as the ground burst apart behind me. From the shattered earth rose a colossal creature, 15 meters tall at least, its gelatinous green body crowned by writhing tentacles stretching outward like grasping limbs. Countless eyes shimmered beneath translucent flesh, locking instantly onto me. The predator was aware. It lunged. I ran. Branches whipped against my suit as I sprinted blindly through the forest, breath hammering loud inside the helmet. Each thunderous behind me shook loose clouds of spores from high canopies. The monster closed distance with horrifying speed despite its bulk. Tentacles snapping through trees with effortless strength, a narrow rock fissure appeared ahead, a cave entrance barely wide enough for human passage. I dove through the opening without hesitation, sliding hard across stone into darkness. The creature slammed into the cave mouth moments later, roaring in fury but unable to squeeze past the narrow passage. I remained frozen, heart pounding, listening to its movements outside until at last the beast withdrew into distant forest shadows. Gathering myself, I pushed deeper into the cavern, water sounds guided me toward a vast underground chamber where a glowing lake shimmered with soft blue illumination, the source coming not from reflected light but the water itself. I knelt and scooped a handful. No reaction. No burning. No toxins detected. I drank. It tasted pure, like glacier water filtered through eternity. The relief bordering on joy was short-lived. A sharp scraping sound erupted behind me. I turned to face a monstrous rodent creature the size of a full-grown hog, boasting 2 snarling heads atop a massive torso, supported by 5 uneven legs and lacking any visible tail. Its eyes burned red through dim light as it studied me in eerie silence. Then dozens more eyes ignited around the cavern perimeter. I was not alone. They poured forward like a living tide. I ran, leaping across jagged rock until reaching a raised cliff ledge. My gloves scraped stone as I climbed desperately just ahead of snapping jaws. I hauled myself upward, barely managing to crest the ledge before collapsing on solid ground. The creatures circled below, shrieking in distorted unison, but could not climb. Minutes stretched into eternity until their howls faded back into the darkness. Exhausted, shaken, I continued deeper through passages leading ever upward until the cavern opened onto a forested cliff overlooking vast rolling valleys bathed in faint starlight. The realization settled into my chest with heavy truth. I was alive. But I was also stranded on an alien world far beyond help, and my true journey had only just begun. They say the deeper you go into space, the more silence speaks back to you. I did not understand what that meant until the hours after the cave escape, when the valley stretched below me like an endless ocean of shadowed trees and faint glowing rivers, and the Astralese lay somewhere far behind, unreachable through unknown terrain filled with creatures that did not belong to any chart or database humanity had ever built. I stood alone on the cliff edge, breathing alien air that my lungs now trusted, but my heart still feared, watching a sky painted in unfamiliar colors where constellations twisted into shapes that meant nothing to my memory. I activated LoRa and asked for long-range signal pings toward the ship. Static echoed in my helmet. The terrain between us blocked transmission, and perhaps something else as well. An unseen planetary interference field that twisted radio waves apart before they could travel any meaningful distance. That meant I was cut off. No guidance voice. No navigation beacon. Just myself and this world. I began walking. The forest canopy thickened quickly as I descended from the cliffs, branches forming archways above me as glowing particle drift descended like slow snow. Footsteps felt dull against the springy ground, absorbing sound too well. Even my movement seemed swallowed by the ecosystem. Occasionally, small gelatin creatures scuttled away at my approach, vanishing under moss or behind tree trunks shaped like twisted towers. They did not fear me so much as flee instinctively, as if everything here understood that new did not mean friendly. Hours blurred with movement and observation. The planet's light cycles were irregular. Clouds sometimes glowed like dim auroras, blocking any true measurement of time. Hunger crept in, reminding me how fragile survival was without supplies. I powered down non-essential systems in my suit to conserve energy and rationed the remaining nutrient packs I carried, barely enough for 3 days if I remained careful. Late into this wandering, the terrain began to change. The soil hardened beneath my boots, becoming rock interlaced with mineral veins glowing faintly blue. Trees thinned until they stood scattered like ancient sentinels watching my progress. I noticed odd stone stacks ahead, tower-like formations arranged in deliberate geometric patterns. These were not natural. Someone or something had built here. I approached slowly, scanning for any sign of life beyond insects and drifting spores. The stone pillars formed a rough circular plaza, their surfaces etched with swirling glyphs that rippled faintly like liquid light. I reached out, gloved fingers brushing a glowing line, and the entire structure began to hum. The ground vibrated. My suit sensors flared alert after alert, then the air itself shifted, a wave of distortion rolled across the plaza, bending trees outward and warping visibility. Shapes emerged from thin air, tall, slender figures shimmering between opacity and transparency. Their bodies looked crystalline rather than organic. Elongated limbs tapering into sharp angles instead of joints. Where faces should be were smooth mask-like surfaces glowing from within. They stood still, watching me, the urge to flee shot through every nerve, but my body froze. Instinct screamed to run, but reason whispered louder, "Run, and you become prey." I held my ground, one being stepped forward. Its internal light pulsed rhythmically like a calm heartbeat. No weapon appeared in its handless form. Instead, the glow intensified and my helmet speakers crackled to life, not sound exactly, more like sensations translated into speech patterns. "Traveler. From the small blue world." My breath hitched. They were communicating. Somehow reading the universal neural language embedded in human cognition. "I did not mean to trespass," I said slowly, choosing words that matched my racing heartbeat. "I am lost." A pause followed. Strange clicking harmonics rippled through the air as if they were conversing among themselves at frequencies beyond my hearing range. "You are the first to reach this place," the voice returned. "Others saw this world. None came. Why? Because the planet is dying." The words struck harder than any monster's roar. They explained through fragmented impressions rather than full sentences. Their species, calling themselves the Astral, were the true inhabitants of this drifting world. Long ago, the planet possessed an internal stellar core, a miniature energy engine sustaining gravity, atmosphere, and surface warmth despite lacking a star. Over ages impossible to calculate in human years, that core began decaying. Their planet's life support system was failing, oxygen thinning. Gravity fluxes destabilizing. Magnetics weakening. All of reality here was slowly unraveling, and they had been searching for help beyond their dimension for centuries. But humanity's technology only recently became powerful enough to discover the world. By accident. By my accident. You arrived, the Astral told me, when the final cycle has begun. I asked the question I feared most: how long does the planet have? The answer came with sorrowful resonance: less than one rotation of your world per 2 rotations of ours. Days. This civilization, ancient beyond imagination, faced extinction within days. Something inside me burned, the same fire that led humanity across oceans, through skies, and out into the stars. What can I do? I asked. The response glowed brighter. There is one way. The remaining Astral had begun constructing a stellar reignition matrix, a colossal device meant to restart the planet's collapsing core. But their biology no longer allowed physical interface with the machine. Their bodies existed partially out of phase with solid matter. They could no longer manipulate heavy mechanisms. They needed a physical being. They needed me. I followed them deeper through ancient transit tunnels concealed beneath the plaza. The passageways spiraled downward far below ground where the planet's heartbeat pulsed faintly beneath layers of crystal and stone. Eventually the air shimmered as a titanic chamber opened before us. I gasped. At the center stood the matrix, an immense metallic structure shaped like an inverted star, components rotating slowly around a glowing plasma sphere that flickered dangerously unstable. Energy arcs jumped erratically, lighting the cavern walls like violent lightning. This must be recalibrated manually, the astral conveyed. Any error will cascade collapse. They warned me of radiation exposure, gravitational distortion, and catastrophic risk. Survival odds were estimated under 20% for an unadapted human, but the alternative was to do nothing. I thought of Earth. Its endless oceans. Birds breaking dawn skies. Human laughter under sunlight, 100 fragile miracles. Compared to that, my odds meant nothing. I'll try, I said. The astral bowed, an elegant folding of illuminated forms. They guided me toward the control interface as alarms began sounding inside my helmet, reacting to energy fluctuations bleeding through suit shielding. I placed my hands against the glowing console, and suddenly, the universe began to tremble. When my hands touched the surface of the matrix console, the world shifted around me. It felt like pressing my palms into the skin of a living star. Heat surged through the metal, vibrating up my arms, shivering through my chest, pushing into my lungs. For a moment, the brightness swallowed everything. I could not hear my own breathing, nor feel my own heartbeat, only the steady pulse of the planetary core fading in and out like a dying signal lost in cosmic interference. Then the chamber came back into focus. The astrals stood in a wide circle around the matrix, their bodies flickering like tall translucent flames, their inner lights pulsing faster as the machine awoke under my touch. The entire cavern trembled. Loose shards of crystal fell like frozen rain. My suit struggled to stabilize pressure changes, but the readings kept spiking into the red. The matrix began rotating more rapidly. Each of its 6 massive arms glowed in different colors: red, blue, white, gold, violet, and a faint green, each syncing with an oscillating tone that resonated deep in my bones. Begin the sequence, the astral projected into my helmet. I forced myself to breathe steadily and followed the scattered instructions appearing on my wrist display. The interface wasn't built for human hands, but the system adapted itself in real time, rewriting symbols, reshaping controls, aligning itself to my neural patterns. Every time I touched a panel, it felt like the machine inhaled, then the ground lurched. A shockwave burst through the cavern, pushing me down to one knee. A beam of blue-white energy shot upward from the matrix, firing into the ceiling as rock cracked open, revealing a sky of swirling violet clouds above. The planet groaned like an old engine trying to turn over one last time, core instability rising. My suit warned. The astral stepped forward. You must stabilize the first harmonic lock. I reached toward the first rotating arm of the matrix. A ring of symbols spun like a halo around it, pulsing in chaotic rhythm. The sequence was all wrong, its energy alignment off phase by several degrees. I grabbed onto the control grip, bracing my boots into the grated floor. The moment I pulled, a surge of force slammed into me. The machine resisted, like dragging a planet with bare hands. My muscles shook, suit hydraulics whining as the pressure climbed. "Come on," I whispered through clenched teeth. The arm barely moved. A second later another shockwave tore through the cavern. Entire slabs of stone broke free from the ceiling. One astral flickered violently and collapsed into shards of light, gone in an instant. I pulled harder. Gradually the rotating arm shifted. The symbols realigned. The light steadied. One harmonic lock snapped into place with a sound like the universe clicking shut around me. One stabilized, I gasped. 5 remain. The astral answered. I pushed toward the next arm. This one spun even faster, humming in a low threatening drone. As I grabbed the controls, intense gravity pressed down on me, bending my spine. My vision blurred at the edges. The pressure around me thickened, as though invisible hands were trying to crush me into the floor. I forced the mechanism into alignment 1 millimeter at a time. The second lock snapped into place, 2 down, 4 left. Breathing became heavier. Air filters strained. My helmet dimmed to shade my eyes from the matrix's increasing brightness. Sparks of cosmic radiation flickered like tiny stars against my visor, but I kept going. The third lock fought harder than the first 2. Electricity arced against my gloves. My arms went numb. Pain crawled from my shoulders down to my fingertips, but I refused to let go. With a final wrench, the third arm aligned, and the matrix roared like something awakening from centuries of sleep. Halfway, by the time I reached the fourth lock, several Astral were flickering irregularly, losing coherence as the collapsing planetary core drained their energy. They were dying while I worked. Their lights dimmed one by one, but none stepped back. They watched, hoping a stranger from a distant world could save everything they had ever known. The fourth lock snapped into place. Then the cavern split open. A quake so violent it threw me into the air, ripped across the chamber. I crashed onto the metal walkway, skidding dangerously close to the pit where the core energy swirled like a storm. My suit blared damage warnings. A sharp pain stabbed through my ribs, but I forced myself to stand. One more, I whispered, staggering toward the fifth arm. Astral voices layered through my helmet, overlapping, trembling. Hurry. The core collapses. We fade. The fifth harmonic lock was embedded deeper inside the matrix, reachable only through a narrow conduit. I squeezed inside, crawling through thick cables vibrating with lethal power. The heat burned through my suit. Sweat rolled down my face. I reached the control node and gripped the wheel-like instrument. It refused to move. I braced my feet, leaned back, and pulled. My entire body felt like it was being torn apart. Metal shrieked. The wheel grudgingly rotated. The lock aligned halfway, then stalled. Astral energy. When the Astral's glowing limb touched the mechanism, a surge unlike anything I had felt exploded through the conduit. It wasn't heat or electricity, it was memory, emotion, and raw planetary energy compressed into one overwhelming wave. In an instant, my mind was flooded with visions that weren't mine, oceans of crystal reflecting twin moons, vast cities of light suspended in the air, generations of Astral drifting like living constellations beneath artificial skies. I felt their history, the slow flourishing of their civilization, their discoveries of stellar physics far beyond human understanding, and finally the fear as their world's core began to dim, century by century, hope eroding while they searched endlessly for a solution. The wheel shuddered under both our touch. I screamed as I pulled with everything I had left. The fifth lock snapped into alignment. The conduit burst apart as I was thrown backward into the central chamber. I rolled across the floor, gasping, lungs burning. Above me the matrix shrieked louder, its rotating arms blazing brighter as the plasma sphere at its heart swelled dangerously close to instability. The final harmonic lock hovered high above the platform, suspended by a crackling energy field impossible to reach from below. I staggered upright, vision swimming. How do I reach it? I shouted. The Astral answered not with words, but by shifting formations. Their bodies rose together like an ascending bridge of light, weaving into a spiraling column toward the final lock. Climb, they resonated. Terror pulsed through me, but I ran forward. Stepping onto solid light felt like walking on vertical glass. The energy held my weight, warm yet trembling beneath each step. Far below, the matrix roared as gravitational distortions twisted the chamber's geometry into impossible angles. Halfway up the living staircase, the planet shook again, deeper this time, as though the core itself were splitting. The astral began fading. Some blinked out mid-formation, their light snapping into nothing and leaving gaps beneath my feet. I leaped desperately across dissolving platforms, rising higher toward the final lock as time evaporated around me. Reaching the top, I grabbed the last control ring. The strain was immediate. This lock resisted more violently than all the others combined. The energy field surrounding it pulsed like a furious heart, pushing against my chest as if trying to tear me loose. I wrapped both arms around the frame. "Lyra," I gasped into the calm, "I need stabilization vectors." Static answered. Then her calm voice cut through, weak but present, receiving partial signal. Analyzing energy modulation. The interference crackled viciously. Adjustment angle required, 4.3 degrees downward, counterphase. I forced the ring to rotate. It wouldn't budge. Below me, astral voices faltered into whispers. "This is the end. If the lock fails." I closed my eyes. I thought of Earth again, the rain, the laughter, the fragile ecosystems we barely protected. I thought of the astral civilization slipping away by the second. I thought of humanity's first true chance to be more than explorers, to be saviors. I roared and pushed. Pain detonated through my spine. My muscles tore against their limits. Then the ring moved, slowly, agonizingly, until with a final thunderous snap, the lock aligned, the matrix went silent, every light extinguished at once. For a heartbeat the entire cavern froze in perfect darkness. Then, the plasma core ignited, a wave of golden energy erupted outward, blasting upward through the rock ceiling and into the alien sky. The ground steadied. Gravity stabilized. The suffocating pressure eased like a deep breath finally released. The planetary heartbeat returned, steady, strong, alive. Across the chamber, remaining astrals shimmered brighter than ever before, their forms stabilizing as their flickering coherence settled into luminous clarity. One by one they rose, radiating relief that transcended language. "You have rekindled our world," they spoke gently. "You restored the star within the planet." I collapsed onto the light bridge as it gently lowered me back toward the platform until solid ground was beneath me once more. My entire body trembled. My suit monitors screamed exhaustion warnings. But I was alive, and so was the planet. As the astral assisted me to my feet, a distant rumble echoed through the chamber, not the threatening groan of collapse, but the peaceful thunder of tectonic harmony returning. Yet something felt wrong. The matrix still glowed faintly. Its arms were no longer in motion, but the core orb pulsed with unstable irregularity rather than balanced rhythm. The astral noticed my concern. "The core is lit," I said. "But it's not steady." They exchanged shimmering signals. "Our calculations restore the engine only temporarily," they admitted. "The planetary structure remains decaying beneath the surface. Reignition bought us time. Nothing more." "How much time?" I asked. A silent pause fell. "Several planetary cycles. Weeks, far from enough to guarantee their future." My stomach tightened. "All that? And it's only temporary?" "Yes," they said. "Unless the core receives permanent stabilizing energy from an external stellar source." I looked up toward the cavern ceiling where the golden beam had punched into space. An impossible thought formed. "You need a star," I said quietly, or, they responded, "a vessel capable of generating a sustained energy transfer deep enough to reinforce the core lattice." My pulse raced. "You mean my ship?" The Astral glowed brighter. "The Astralise carries a fusion reactor powerful enough to provide stabilization. But it must be integrated directly into the matrix." A brutal realization hit. Integration would mean sacrificing the ship entirely. No Astralise, no return to Earth, no way home. I stared at the distant tunnel leading back toward where my only lifeline waited somewhere beyond the forests. Save a world, or save myself. And for the first time since leaving Earth, I truly did not know which choice I would make. The weight of the Astral's words pressed heavier than any gravitational surge the planet had thrown at me. I stood motionless on the metallic platform, surrounded by glowing beings who waited in absolute silence, their future suspended in the narrow space between yes and no. The Astralise was more than a ship, she was my lifeline, my only path back to Earth, my oxygen reserve beyond ration limits, my shelter against cosmic radiation, my heat source, my navigation beacon in the infinite dark. Without her, I would become exactly what humanity feared most, a heroic casualty recorded in mission logs and forgotten except during memorial broadcasts, but around me stood an entire civilization on the brink of extinction. Not theoretical life, not alien concepts, living beings who felt fear, hope, and loss just as sharply as I did. "If I link the reactor," I said quietly, "there's no coming back from this, is there?" The Astral's collective glow dimmed. "No physical return," they answered. "Your existence would continue here. Or end with the transfer. So you're not even certain I'd survive." Silence again, a terrible confirmation. I activated my helmet channel, hoping, almost praying, to reach Lyra. "Lyra, do you copy?" This time no static came, her voice arrived weak but clear, signal acquisition re-established. Limited bandwidth. For the first time since departure, relief washed through me. "Lyra," I said, "listen carefully. The Astral need the Astralis's reactor to stabilize their planetary core permanently. Is it feasible?" A pause marked by rapid internal computation cycles. "Technically viable," Lyra replied. "Fusion matrix can emit stabilization beams strong enough to reinforce planetary lattice structure. Integration will disable propulsion systems permanently." The certainty stung, and survival probabilities. Human survival upon reactor transfer completion estimated at 16 to 23%, dependent on environmental field stability. I closed my eyes. Even the machines didn't sugarcoat death. I looked toward the cavern tunnels, toward the unknown distance where my ship waited untouched, the only lifeboat within light years. Then I looked at the Astral. They were luminous, fragile, ancient, and suddenly, humanity's long history of exploration flashed within me. Voyagers crossing uncharted seas knowing their ships might never return. Early astronauts boarding capsules built with slide rules and faith alone. Progress had never been safe, but it had always been brave. "I'll do it," I said. The words surprised even me with how natural they felt. Astral voices vibrated through the chamber, filled with awe and gentle sorrow. "You will be remembered as the light-bearer beyond stars." I almost smiled. "I don't need a title," I replied. "I just want to know I made the right choice." They guided me back through the subterranean tunnels. The journey felt longer this time, heavy with finality. When at last I emerged near the landing ridge, the Astralise stood where I had left her, sleek and silent against the alien horizon. I touched her warm hull with my gloved hand. "I'm sorry," I whispered, unsure whether I meant to the ship or to myself. Inside the cockpit, familiar sounds wrapped around me like a final embrace. The low vibration of the reactor, the faint chirp of diagnostic pulses, the soft ambient hum that had carried me across impossible distances. "Lyra," I said. The world was healing, energy output rose beyond safe thresholds. My vision blurred. The cockpit vibrated violently as hull fractures spread. "Lyra," I wheezed. "If I don't make it, you will persist within memory systems," she responded. "Your neural imprint remains archived." "That's not quite the same thing," I muttered weakly. A powerful tremor rocked the astrolese. The reactor reached maximum transfer state. "Core lattice stabilized," Lyra announced. Cheers erupted through my helmet channel as Astral voices resonated from deep below. They were safe. The ship was not. The cockpit alarms faded one by one, overwhelmed by total power failure. Lights died. Gravity flickered. The last thing I heard was Lyra's voice growing faint. "Final system report. Elias Ward. You have succeeded." And then, darkness took me. No pain, no sound, just silence deeper than space itself. Darkness did not feel empty, it felt crowded. Voices drifted through the black, distant echoes of sound without words, like wind moving through forgotten halls. Sensation returned slowly, starting with pressure in my chest, then the dull throb of pulse in my ears. I tried to breathe and coughed instead, sharp pain flaring through my ribs. Something cool brushed across my forehead, followed by a radiant warmth spreading from my spine outward into my limbs. Light seeped in. I opened my eyes. Above me, the cavern ceiling glowed with unfamiliar colors, now softer than before, not violent energy storms but gentle auroral wisps rippling along crystal veins. The Matrix platform lay in the distance. Stabilized, silent, radiating slow rhythmic light like a heart that had found its proper rhythm again. I was lying on a smooth crystalline surface. The Astrals stood around me. Their luminosity no longer flickered, their forms stable, solid in their own strange way. They glowed with unmistakable relief. "You remain among the living," they said. I inhaled weakly. The oxygen was sweet, clean. What happened? I managed. When reactor transfer completed, your body experienced radical gravitational shock, the Astral replied. Your neural systems collapsed for several cycles. We reinforced your physiology with planetary bioenergy to prevent failure. I looked at my hands. Faint luminous filaments traced beneath my skin, glowing softly like veins of starlight. You changed me, I whispered. Yes, they answered gently. You needed more than human endurance to survive here. A strange mix of gratitude and dread tightened inside me, and the Astralese. Silence answered first. She is now part of the Matrix, they said finally. Her reactor remains bonded with our planetary core. There is no restoration path. A hollow pressure spread through my chest, grief for something that had quietly become much more than metal and circuitry. She kept us alive, I whispered. Both of us. She still does, they replied. She now sustains an entire world. I lay back, staring at the glowing cavern ceiling. So this is it, I said. I saved you. But stranded myself forever. The Astral did not deny it. Instead, one stepped forward. You are not stranded, they said. You are home. Home, the word tasted strange coming from beyond human lips. my memories drifted across Earth, rainstorms, city noises, sunlight cutting between buildings, human voices layered in living chaos. Could any new world replace that? I pushed myself slowly upright. My body moved easier than expected. Lighter, what did you do to me? Your cellular structure has been partially converted. They said. Human biology reinforced with planetary resonance. You will not age here as your species does. Your vitality remains sustained as long as this world endures. Immortality, not chosen, given. The weight of that pressed heavily on my mind. How long will your world endure now? I asked. They radiated quiet confidence, eons. The cavern trembled gently, not with instability now, but with the subtle pulse of a living planet. You will witness ages unfold, one said. Forests grow and die. Oceans shift. Cities rise within light. You will be a guardian of memory. I stood slowly, a guardian, or a solitary witness. I followed them upward through tunnels toward the surface. The passageways felt warmer, more alive than before. When we emerged at the cliff edge where I had once watched the endless valley alone, the view had transformed, skies blazed with golden daylight. Vast forests stretched toward bright new horizons. Rivers shimmered with renewed motion. Creatures soared across open air, winged beings I had not seen before, born perhaps only after stabilization. Life had flourished. I breathed deeply, but even surrounded by renewal, loneliness crept across the quiet parts of my heart. Can you reach other worlds? I asked suddenly. Yes, the Astral said. Your species gave us new calculations. With the matrix restored, we may construct stellar gateways again. Hope sparked quietly. Gateways. Could one lead back to human space? The Astral considered. In time, they answered. Time was no longer my enemy. It became my currency. Years may pass before humanity glimpses the same stars I now stood beneath from this alien world, unaware that one of their own still walked among the galaxies, a lone guardian between civilizations. I turned to the Astral. Until then, I said, I'll help you rebuild. They glowed warmly. You already have. As I gazed across the vibrant new horizon, I accepted the truth settling in my chest. I had not lost Earth. I had gained a universe, and somewhere beyond starlight and memory, the Astralise continued to burn, no longer a ship of exploration, but the eternal heart of a reborn world.